Alright, this will be Feeding Ducks Part 2. If you haven't seen the first one yet, go back and catch it. It'll kind of give you some info before you get into this one. Um, but hopefully you enjoyed the first one, and this should wrap up the Feeding the Ducks part. If you have any questions or whatever, be sure to leave them in the comments below, and I'll get back to you. Any suggestions, anything else? Great. So here's Feeding Ducks Part 2. Okay, as far as popcorn, bread, potato chips that you'll see people take to the park and do pasta. So let's start out with the bread. Bread's not going to hurt them, but the bread is it's not going to provide any nutrition. It'll fill them up and they won't get what they do need. So although bread won't hurt them, bread's not really a good idea to be feeding ducks. It's just you're going to deprive them of actually eating something that's nutritious for them, or them going out and finding grubs or some other things that they can eat. So bread, popcorn. You see a lot of people feeding popcorn to ducks in parks and other places, lakes, whatever, but popcorn's a really bad idea. Popcorn does not digest well, and popcorn can get stuck in their throat and can choke them. Even when ducks are eating things that they normally eat and get down, they still have to have lots of fluid just to wash regular stuff down. So giving ducks popcorn is a bad idea. Don't give them popcorn. Potato chips. Potato chips, I don't know why people want to give ducks potato chips, but maybe it's just because of what they have. But potato chips is not a good idea for ducks. Starches and all in potatoes are not good for them to start with, and it just doesn't digest well as the nutrition they do need and they could get from other stuff. They generally won't get it because they're eating potato chips. So although potato chips are not going to kill them, it's just potato chips are not a good idea for ducks. Pasta. Pasta's about like back to the bread and the potato chip deal. It's not going to hurt them, but well, it could if it was uncooked. Let me say that. Don't give them uncooked pasta because it could swell up in their abdomen and cause some damage, as well as block them up and hurt them, or could possibly kill them. But even cooked pasta is not good for them. It deprives them of the chance to actually go out and get something that's going to provide nutrition for them. So pasta, again, is kind of like the bread. It's just not a good idea. There, girl. Okay, as far as vegetables go, this is not for you. This is not for you. No, it's not for you. Excuse me. Excuse me. You mind if I continue with this, or you got input, or what's the deal? You got something you want to say? Just making sure I'm doing it right? Okay. Excuse me. Thank you. Sorry. As far as the vegetables go, let's start on this side. Carrots, perfectly fine. You just need to make sure that you, well, actually good. You just need to make sure that you cut them up in small enough bite-sized pieces to where it's not going to choke the ducks. You're much better off if you cook them raw is fine. Just make sure you cut them up small enough to where it's not going to affect the ducks. The couple I did want to mention was like the onions. Shouldn't be giving ducks onions, cooked or raw. Either or is bad for them. Potatoes can be dangerous, but only if uncooked, because you don't want them getting the green potato. Green potato can make them sick and kill them. So if you're going to give potatoes, just make sure it's cooked. Number two, make sure it's cut up into real small bite-sized pieces, but make sure it's cooked thoroughly. Cut up vegetables like lettuce, tomatoes, as long as it's cut up to fine pieces, perfectly good for them. Matter of fact, it's healthy for them. Really good to give them, especially tomatoes. They love tomatoes. Celery's perfectly fine for them. But there again, celery has to be cut up really, really fine for them to eat. You don't need big chunks of celery because it could choke them and could kill The canned vegetables are just perfectly fine. Canned tomatoes are fine. You just don't want to add a lot of spice or other stuff to it. Canned green beans are great. Again, you just want to cut them up really fine. This is the number one thing. As far as vegetables, sweet peas are great for them because of the fact it has the niacin in it, and they need lots of niacin. So they have to have the niacin more so than other chickens and so forth. So I'm still trying to find an alternative to the sweet peas, but I haven't found it yet. I'm still looking. Mixed vegetables are just fine. They can eat those, perfectly healthy. The canned corn, I've noticed they don't like corn as much as the chickens do. So they just don't for some reason. I don't know why. But if you're going to give them canned corn, which they may forage in and eat it. Yours may just be these crazy ducks we got, but they don't seem to like it. The only thing you want to make sure of is it doesn't have a lot of added sugar in any of this stuff when you go to feeding them that stuff. So that's it for the vegetables. Oh, I did want to mention, if you got tomatoes in your backyard, tomato plants, you just don't want to make sure, or you want to make sure that they don't eat the leaves off the tomato plants. That can be toxic to a duck. So just keep that in mind. One of the vegetables I wanted to make a quick note on was as far as leafy greens goes, is they're perfectly fine to eat kale. Matter of fact, they'll pick it right off the plant and be perfectly fine. One, you need to be careful about spinach. Spinach tends to deplete them of calcium and won't allow them to uptake it as easily. So spinach is kind of iffy, and you may want to stay away from spinach, or if you're growing spinach, try to keep your ducks away from the spinach plants because it can decrease their calcium. So that's just FYI. Okay, I did want to say this. With a cold day, there's nothing better than homemade vegetable soup and pimento cheese sandwich. And that's that pimento cheese with the jalapenos in it. Man, that thing will warm you up from the inside out. Ain't nothing better. But that's my personal opinion. But I do love it. Okay, when it comes to fruits are great for ducks. Fruits are absolutely wonderful for ducks. The thing I'll say about it is fresh fruits are great. The one fruit you want to make sure you stay way clear of, whether it's the pit, the peeling, or the meat itself, is the avocados. Avocados are toxic to ducks. So make sure if you got any avocados, you don't put it in your compost pile, anything, or anywhere near it, because those ducks, as nosy as they are, they may go over there and get a hold of that stuff. So if you eat avocados, just make sure you dispose of that thing where those ducks can't get a hold of it, because they're toxic. But fresh fruits are great. They'll eat fresh fruits like the dickens. You just got to cut it up into something, they can get into their bill and swallow okay. We've tried bananas with the ducks. They don't tend to like the bananas. So we get them like this one. This one will go to the rabbits because this one has gotten way too old. But the rabbits will end up eating that. But for us, the ducks don't tend to like the bananas. The one thing I'll say about providing fruits, canned fruits specifically, is that these type of things tend to come with tend to come with a lot of sugar. So sugar is definitely not good for the ducks. If that's all you got, that's probably perfectly fine. But we try to stay away from the canned fruits because it's definitely not good for the ducks getting all that sugar, that processed sugar. So this may sound crazy, but as far as like cat and dog food, believe it or not, stuff's great for them. Cat and dog food have everything they need in it, and it's perfectly fine to feed those ducks cat and dog food. The thing you want to be careful of is just make sure it's broken down into really small pieces that they can actually eat. But cat and dog food's great for them. The one thing I'll say about the cat and dog food that you just need to be aware of is when you start feeding them the cat and dog food, it can make their their poop a lot smellier. So if they're right, you know, close up to your house, or that's where you keep your ducks at, then just be aware that the smell is going to get a lot stronger. So that's just FYI. Okay, I don't tend to have any seeds or nuts around here right now. Although if you want to give your ducks sesame seeds, perfectly fine. Matter of fact, they like them, and it's good for them. And just make sure if you give them, make sure it's not salted. Salt's not good for them. As far as seeds and nuts goes, just remember there's a difference between seeds and nuts. Nuts are not good for ducks. Don't be giving your ducks peanuts and that kind of thing. It's just they can't digest it, and it may cause them to get impacted and could kill them. So you tend to want to stay away from things like roasted peanuts, those kind of things, or salted peanuts you get in the jars. Don't be giving ducks that kind of stuff. It's really bad for them. Two kind of seeds I did want to mention were cherry seeds and apple seeds. Both of those seeds are toxic to ducks, so you need to make sure that they don't get a hold of things like apple seeds and cherry seeds. Are really, really bad for them. Could kill them. Probably kill them. So just FYI on those. Okay, as far as feeding your ducks, I hope that's helped out. Hopefully it'll keep your ducks safe and provide them, or at least provide you with some good nutritional information. But if you got any more questions about our ducks, just put it in the comments below, and I'll be sure to answer you as quickly as I can. Crazy ducks. One thing I did want to mention as far as the ducks goes, if you see them out in your garden, out and about, like going through it or whatever, don't think they're in there eating your plants. Now some they will, but most of the time they're in there eating bugs out of your garden. If you look under the leaves of your plants, you'll probably find aphids. They're probably in there eating those things. So just let them go if they can. If they're not tearing your plants up, they're actually doing your garden some good. Excuse me. They're eating the bugs out of it, and they're providing fertilizer for your plants. So ducks can be good in a garden. Just before you go, if they're tearing your garden up, that's fine. You know, get them out. But just check before you go throwing them out, when they could be doing your garden some good. Let's start with this. Okay, that should be the information you need as far as our feeding our ducks goes. If you got any comments, suggestions, anything you want to see, anything you want to see us change or cover, please put it in the comments below, and I'll address them as soon as I see them. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. I guess I'll see you on the next one. Thanks.